Hello and welcome back to Motto Genki, Japanese Study with me, Robin Darby. This is the second episode in our series, so let's begin. In this lesson we'll be looking at first sentences, so we'll be looking at how to make sentences in Japanese. So to begin with, we'll be looking at sentence foundations, so how a sentence is structured. Then we'll be moving on to questions and how to form those in Japanese. Then we'll be looking at something called particles, and specifically the not particle. Then we'll move on to borrowed words in Japanese. And finally, there'll be a small test. Right, let's begin. Right, so in this section, we'll begin by looking at des, which is a Japanese word, and ha or wa. So, in Japanese, there's a very, very important word, which is des. It's usually written in hiragana in a sentence. And about the pronunciation, you'll see in the hiragana here, it's desu, but we pronounce this one as des. Des is used in the same way that we use the be verbs in English, like am, are, is. And there's some examples here. So, I am Robin. So that's my name. I am Robin. You are American. They are students. We are here. He is John. She is Gemma. It is 5 p.m. So in all of these, we have be verbs, am, are, is. And also down here, we have it is a cat, neko desu. Next, we're going to look at wa. So if you look on a hiragana chart, this symbol here, you will see written as ha. However, in this context that we're going to talk about, it's pronounced as wa. So, when to use this? So in a sentence, there can be a topic of the sentence. So that's the thing that you're talking about and that the following sentences may be referring to. That's the topic. So to indicate to somebody what the topic of a sentence is, we use wa. So in this example, we have watashi wa Robin desu. So in this sentence, wa is saying that watashi, I, am the topic. Watashi wa, I, it's about me. So watashi wa Robin desu. This sentence is about me, and I am Robin. Des being am. Watashi wa Robin desu. I am Robin. Here are some examples. So first, to specify that something is something, we use des. So I am, he is, it is, they are. Am here, I am Robin, Robin desu. So in the previous sentence, we saw that I am Robin is watashi wa Robin desu. However, sometimes in Japanese, you can shorten sentences by getting rid of a part of the sentence that everybody already knows. So, I am Robin is the sentence. If I'm saying Robin desu, something is Robin, it's implied that it's me. Implicit parts of sentences can sometimes be removed. So, in this sentence, Robin desu, I am Robin. The next one is the longer, full version of that using wa. So, watashi wa Robin desu. These two are the same sentence. They both mean I am Robin. However, the first one is implied, that it's me we're talking about. The second one explicitly says watashi, I. Right, the next part, I am British. Watashi wa Igirisujin desu. I am British. We're going to talk a little more in a minute about this, jin, to refer to nationality. But for now, we'll just look at watashi wa. So the thing that we're talking about is me. Igirisujin desu. I am British. And the next one, watashi wa gakusei desu. Gakusei means student. So watashi wa, again, the thing we're talking about is me. Gakusei desu. I am a student. And just one more example using only desu and not wa. Neko desu. It's a cat. So for example, oh, what is that? Oh, neko desu. It's a cat. So let's move on to the next section. Questions. So in Japanese, it's quite easy to make a question. What we do, we make a sentence, and then at the end of that sentence, we say ka. Ka says that this sentence is a question. So in English, the way that we form questions, well, there's many ways, but in this circumstance, Tony is American is the sentence. The question, is Tony American? We change around the order of the words. However, in Japanese, the sentences are the same. The only difference is that we identify that it's a question with ka. So, Tony wa Amerikajin desu. Tony wa, Tony is the topic of the sentence. Amerikajin desu is American. Tony is American. Here, Tony wa Amerikajin desu ka? Tony wa Amerikajin desu ka? This ka makes this into a question. So, Tony is American becomes, is Tony American? Tony wa Amerikajin desu. Tony wa Amerikajin desu ka? So, what we're going to do, we're going to break down that sentence. So, we've already learnt about wa. So, in this one, Tony is the topic of the sentence. So, Tony wa. And again, we pronounce this as wa and not ha. Now, this part we will look at making nationalities for this question. So, to make a nationality in Japanese, we take the country's name and we add jin. Jin is a suffix in Japanese that means person. So, America jin, America person, American. So, in this one, we're saying that Tony is something to do with American, and we'll be using des in a second. So the des, as we've already know, identifies that this is something. So Tony wa Amerikajin desu. Tony is American. Tony is American. However, now we're going to turn that into a question with ka. So Tony wa Amerikajin desu ka? Is Tony American? So here we have some nationalities. So there is Japan, which in Japanese is Nihon. So Japanese person is Nihonjin, Japanese. Britain is Igirisu. So British is Igirisu-jin. America, America. Jin, America Jin, American. Canada is Canada. Jin, Canada Jin, Canadian. France is France. France Jin, French. Germany is a little different. It uses the German word, which is Deutschland. So Deutsche. Deutsche is Germany. Deutsche Jin is German. So here again, we have China. In the Japanese language, they have their own word for China, which is Chugoku. So with Jin turns Chugoku, Chugoku Jin, Chinese. Right, so now let's have a look at making some questions with these. Keiko wa Nihonjin desu ka? Is Keiko Japanese? Keiko wa Nihonjin desu ka? John wa Igirisujin desu ka? Is John British? John wa Igirisujin desu ka? Tony wa Amerikajin desu ka? Is Tony American? Susan wa Kanadajin desu ka? Susan wa Kanadajin desu ka? Is Susan Canadian? Kuroe wa Furansujin desu ka? Kuroe wa Furansujin desu ka? Is Chloe French? Kurausu wa Doitsujin desu ka? Kurausu wa Doitsujin desu ka? Is Klaus German? Is Klaus German? Kurausu wa Doitsujin desu ka? Emily wa Chugokujin desu ka? Is Emily Chinese? Emily wa Chugokujin desu ka? Right, so that's questions out of the way. So we're going to be looking now at particles, and specifically the not particle. So in this section, we're going to look at what particles are, what they're used for, have a look at some examples, and then specifically the not particle. Right, what are particles? Particles are, they're a type of Japanese word, kind of. They're a little different. They have a different usage to the way regular words are used. They add meaning and context to a sentence. So in English, the structure of the sentence and the order in which the words appear, they add meaning, which we're going to look at a little in a second. But the way Japanese structures its sentences is using these particles to add meaning and context to the words you use. So here we have an example. The example sentence is, the boy eats the cake. So from this sentence, we can take that there is 1, a boy, 2, there is a cake, and 3, that the cake ends up inside the boy because he eats it. However, if we change the order of the words even slightly, the meaning can be completely lost or even completely changed. So for example, the cake eats the boy. We've just changed around the order of the words and the meaning is completely changed. Because we've gone from a boy eating a cake to some sort of man eating cake devouring the boy, just by changing the order of the words. Now, Japanese, it does have some order, but not in the same way that English does. So, we've already learnt some particles already. So today we looked at wa and ka. These are particles. This particle identifies the topic of the sentence, and ka, as we've learnt, identifies that this sentence is a question itself. So before we looked at changing the order of the words to make a question. Tony is American, is Tony American? So that's another example of sentence order adding context, whereas in Japanese they use the particles. Right, we're going to look at a new particle. There is the no particle. So here we have the hiragana character no, and what it does is it can connect two nouns together. For example, a university student. It also is used to identify ownership. For example, my cake. So here we have daigaku no gakusei, a university student. Daigaku no gakusei. So daigaku, university. Gakusei, student. And no, it joins them together. Daigaku no gakusei. Right, here we have some more examples. There is daigaku no gakusei, a university student. Koukou no kyoshi, a high school teacher. So koukou is high school, kyoshi is teacher, koukou no kyoshi is a high school teacher. And Nihon no kaishain, so Nihon we learnt before is Japan. Kaishain is office worker or company worker. So Nihon no kaishain is a Japanese office worker or Japanese office workers. So in Japanese, plurals don't work the same as they do in English. For example, cat, you add an S, becomes cats. Or phone, you add an S, becomes phones. In Japanese, very often, the plural and the singular are the same. So here, kaishain could mean worker or workers. Nihon no kaishain, Japanese office worker. Also, it's important to point out that the part which follows the no particle is the main idea of the two words. So, daigaku no gakusei is a university student. If you switch these around, the meaning changes. It becomes a student's university. Gakusei no daigaku, student's university. However, because it's this order, the gakusei, student, is the main idea. So if I were to say a university student is busy, it's the student that's busy, not the university. And again, if I said a high school teacher or the high school teacher is friendly, it is the teacher part that is friendly, not the high school. It's the main idea. Right. So no can also identify ownership. So in English, we would say, for example, Robin's cake or his friend. This is the same for no. So watashi no keiki, my cake. So in this one, watashi no becomes my. Watashi is I, no is the ownership part of the sentence. Watashi no keiki, my cake. So that could be watashi no, my, Pony no Tonys, Keiko no Keikos. Right, now we're going to move on quickly to borrowed words in Japanese. So, Japanese has many words that it has gained from other languages over the years. So, for example, it uses some words from English, some words from Portuguese, some words from German, from many, many languages. These words, when written down, are usually written down in katakana to identify that these words are not native Japanese words. These words are borrowed words. And there are exceptions to the rule, but for now, we just remember that borrowed words, words from other languages, are usually written down in katakana. So, already we've seen keiki, which is cake, from the previous section, and parto, which means part, that we see on every single slide at the beginning of the section. But there are some other ones. For example, saka is soccer, or as we say in Britain, football. Jeans is jeans. Jeans, as in the trouser variety and not the DNA variety. Arubaito is part-time job. Arubaito comes from German. This confused me in the beginning because when I first learned it, I thought, well, what word can that come from? But then I found out it comes from German. Chocoreto is chocolate. Chocoreto. It can also sometimes be shortened to choco, but for now, chocoreto is all you need to know. And terebi, television, terebi. Right, so we're going to move on to the test. If you feel that you need to go back through the lesson again, please rewind the video and go through again, and we'll begin. Right, question 1. Which of these means Mr. Takeda is Japanese? Is it A? Takeda-san wa Nihonjin desu. Is it B? Takeda-san desu Nihonjin wa? Or is it C? Takeda-san wa Nihonjin desu ka? Right, next question. Question 2. Which of these means, are you a teacher? Is it A? Sensei desu. Is it B? Amerikajin desu ka? Or is it C? Sensei desu ka? Right, next question. Question 3. Which of these means, is this my cake? Is it A? Watashi no keiki desu ka? Is it B? Watashi wa keiki desu ka? Or is it C? Watashi no keiki desu. Right, next question. Question 4. So this we've not covered, but let's see if you can imagine the meaning. So we have the word tennis. Is it A, trains? Is it B, tennis? Or is it C, 10 yen. Right, let's go through the answers. Right, question 1. Which of these mean Mr. Takeda is Japanese? And the answer is A. So, Takeda is his name. San means Mr., Mrs., it's a title of a person. That says that this is the topic, Takeda-san. Nihon, we learned, is Japan, so Nihonjin is Japanese. Des is. So, Mr. Takeda is Japanese. B. Takeda-san desu. Nihonjin wa. The order is completely wrong. And C. Takeda-san wa Nihonjin desu ka? We studied that ka makes it into a question, so this actually says, is Mr. Takeda Japanese? Right, question 2 was, which of these means, are you a teacher? And the answer is C. We know this because ka is a question, and are you identifies as a question. Sensei means teacher. In Japanese, there are several words for teacher. And des is, are, am. So, are you a teacher? And ka identifies it as a question. Right. Is this my cake? The answer is A. Watashi no keiki desu ka? So in this sentence, keiki meaning cake, watashi means I, watashi no my, watashi no keiki, my cake. Des means is, and it's a question. So this is my cake becomes, is this my cake? Watashi no keiki desu ka? Part B, question B. Watashi wa keiki desu ka? Means, am I a cake? Because watashi wa, I am the topic. Keiki, cake. Des, am. And ka, question, am I a cake? And C, watashi no keiki desu. This is my cake. Right, question 4 was a little unfair because we'd not covered the word tennis, but I'm sure you can imagine tennis is tennis and not 10 yen or not trains. So tennis. Right, that brings us to the end of this lesson. So there is homework available for you to download. So in this week's homework, we're going to be practicing some sentences which will quickly be following this section. So you can download the homework, print it off, and practice along with the upcoming audio. We'll be practicing asking and answering questions, and also we can go over some vocabulary for you to learn. In the next lesson, lesson 3, we'll be looking at numbers. So, thank you for listening. I encourage you to download the homework, and we'll go through that together now. Right, so hopefully now you've downloaded the homework sheet and have printed it off or have a copy of it to look at. So in 1A, there is this dialogue, and you and I will practice this dialogue together. So first, I will read both parts A and B. And then, in this next part, you can read part B, and I will read part A. And then lastly, we'll switch. You read part A, and I'll read part B. So to begin with, I will read both parts. A. 私はヘンリーです。B. ヘンリー、はじめまして。私はサムです。A. サム、はじめまして。サムはアメリカ人ですか？ And B. はい、アメリカ人です。So, in this, there's a couple of new words and phrases. There is はじめまして and はい。はじめまして means pleased to meet you. Hi means yes. So in English, this conversation would be, I am Henry. Oh, pleased to meet you, Henry. I am Sam. Oh, pleased to meet you, Sam. Are you American, Sam? Yes, I'm American. Right, this time I will be part A and you can be part B. 私はヘンリーです。サム、はじめまして。サムはアメリカ人ですか？ Right, very good. So this time we will switch roles. I will be B and you can be A. So we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. ヘンリー、はじめまして。私はサムです。はい、アメリカ人です。Right, very good. So you can go over that many times if you like. So in 1B, we will go through this table and the dialogue together, and we can fill in the blanks. So in this table, here we have who each person is, what A asks B, and what B's nationality is. So in conversation A is Ichiro and B is Dan. Ichiro asks Dan if he's British, and B's nationality, so Dan's nationality, he is British. So down here, we can say either yes or no. So yes, as we learned, is hai, and no is iie. To begin with, you can be B and I will be A, and then we will switch. 私は一郎です。ダン、はじめまして。ダンはイギリス人ですか？ Right, very good. So this time we will switch. So you can be A and I will be B. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. 一郎、はじめまして。私はダンです。はい、イギリス人です。Right, very good. So now we'll move on to conversation B, which is the same as conversation A, but with different information. So here, Anna asks Stefan if they are French, but Stefan is German. So the answer would be いいえ、ドイツ人です. Right, so this time I will be A and you can be B. 私はアナです. Stefan, はじめまして. Stefan はフランス人ですか? Right, very good. Okay, now we'll switch. So I will be B and you can be A. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. アナ、はじめまして。私はステファンです。いいえ、ドイツ人です. Right, very good. And for part C, I will be A and you can be B. 私はトーニです. フランク、はじめまして。フランクはアメリカ人ですか? Right, very good. So this time we will switch. So I will be B and you can be A. Starting in 3, 2, 1. トーニ、はじめまして。私はフランクです。いいえ、オーストラリア人です. Right, that brings us to the end of the homework. Please continue with the next part on the homework, and come back later for more Motto Genki with me, Robin Darby. Thank you.